Welcome to MSG PM, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Your app is ready, Emperor. My name is Kazim Famiwide, and right now you are checking out one of the times the Knicks were going streaking as they won their 9th straight win with the Toronto Raptors coming into town. It was an incredible win in late April, so we're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk about the divisions in the NBA, but before we do any of that, I got to bring in my boy, Jeff Eisenband. Jeff, huge win that we're watching right now with the New York Knicks. That was the game that really started to turn the perception of the New York Knicks around, their longest win streak in almost a decade. Talk to me about these Knicks.
Well, first of all, I would say, right, imagine someone telling you 3 years ago that the Knicks would be better than the Toronto Raptors, when the Raptors were at their height. And I think you looked at what the Knicks were able to do with the Raptors, the Celtics, and it starts in the division, playing the 76ers and playing the Nets close. I think that's where a lot of the energy, you could feel that igniting the Knicks, beating their rivals, playing these close games against their rivals. I know there's a lot of redemption on their mind, especially I think when it comes to the 76ers. The Knicks got to just get across that line with them, but it was an awesome job here with the Toronto Raptors.
Jeff, I'm not mad at the Drake line bar that you just dropped with redemption on your mind. That's a reach, but I like it. I'm not mad at it. But you talked about owning the division, which is very important. So full screen me real quick, producers, and let's talk about the very suddenly stacked Atlantic Division with the Brooklyn Nets, unsurprisingly the favorites to win it all, followed by the Philadelphia 76ers, the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks at plus 3,000 odds, and the Toronto Raptors coming in last. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
Well, my first thoughts are I'm surprised to see the Knicks behind the Celtics because, what happened last year, right? The Knicks finished better than the Boston Celtics, and we got their guy, Kemba Walker, right? Kaz, think about that. I think there's a certain...
Both of their guys.
Yeah, Evan Fournier as well. There's a certain... recency sort of. The Celtics obviously made that run three of the last 5 Eastern Conference Finals, but I think the Knicks should be ahead of the Celtics there. And then the 76ers and the Nets. Look, we know the Nets have so much talent. The 76ers had the best record in the Eastern Conference last year. We don't know, if you want to take a fly on our team, we don't know what is going on with Ben Simmons, where he's going to end up, who's going to end up on the Philadelphia 76ers. So maybe that's what's pushing those odds. That's the disconnect right now between the Nets and the 76ers. But this is a team that performed at such a high level in the regular season last year that doesn't feel like they're going to have the same load management that the Nets are going to have. These could be 1 and 2 in the Eastern Conference this year. And, when it comes down to the end, are they going to be playing we're talking about just regular season odds for the division right now. So I think there's a lot of value right now in the 76ers matched up with the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, the Atlantic Division seems like it's going to be a dogfight all season long, and I, for one, can't wait to see it. But let's talk about some other divisions in the NBA, specifically the Central Division, the home of the reigning NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks, who unsurprisingly top the list of odds to win their division, followed by the retooled Chicago Bulls, who just added Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan, followed by the Indiana Pacers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Detroit Pistons, teams who had some real lotto luck at the end of the year and have some young, exciting players, but I don't think anyone is looking for them to win the division this year. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think Detroit and Cleveland, that's a great matchup bet, right? If you want to look at that and sweat that out the whole year. I think obviously the Bucks, have all the talent in the world. They're going to continue to go for it with the roster that they have. They're not worried about when it all comes tumbling down. It'll be in a couple of years. So the Bucks are going to be, at the top here. There's always a worry about Giannis or any other player's health and how that opens the door for other teams. Chicago's getting a lot of love right now, obviously with those moves with Lonzo Ball, with DeMar DeRozan. They made the move for Nikola Vucevic at the end of last season. Add that to Zach LaVine. I know I've mentioned this to you, Kaz. We'll see how much defense that team decides to play. It feels like the exact opposite.
I'm not sold, Jeff. I'm not sold on the Bulls.
I'm not sold on them either. I think it's a lot of names thrown together, but we'll see how that works out. It's the Indiana Pacers, I think, if you're looking at any team to take a look at. And I don't know if Rick Carlisle was just feeling nostalgic after watching, the recent Malice at the Palace documentaries and everything that's going on there, that he returns to Indiana. And I think it's so interesting, Kaz, right? Because here's a guy who's had such incredible regular season success. Forget his playoff success, which obviously he won the title with the Mavs, but you look at this roster: Domantas Sabonis, Karis LeVert, Malcolm Brogdon. You start to look up and down Miles Turner. You start to look up and down this roster and you're like, there's some guys on this team. You know, if the Indiana Pacers can stay healthy, if they can be a sleeper team in the Eastern Conference. I think if you're looking for a sleeper team, this is that team that has the mold with that potential. So if you want to get some value in the Central Division, this is now for the Indiana Pacers.
Let's jump into football real quick, Jeff. The AFC East no longer under the overlordship of one Thomas Brady, who took his talents down to Tampa. But let's full screen a little bit those odds real quick, producers. The Buffalo Bills, who won the division last year, top the division with minus 155 odds. Followed by Tua Tagovailoa's Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots, led by Mac Jones, and my New York Jets at plus 2,200 odds. Talk to me, Jeff. What stands out the most to you?
Ooh, what stands out? Well, you said no more Thomas Brady. Let me tell you something. I want to save something here. I want to talk about the Bills first because I've talked with you on a different Caesars Sportsbook segment about this. I think the betting world is a little too high on the Buffalo Bills. They made the AFC Championship game last year. A lot of people thought this is the Bills era. Josh Allen. I know everyone and their mother thinks that Josh Allen is going to be a better fantasy quarterback than Patrick Mahomes this year. I just think that there's going to be a lot of, watching game film on Josh Allen. There's going to be a lot of figuring out that passing game for the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have to establish the run. Is it Zach Moss? Is it Devin Singletary? What's going on? If the Bills can't run the football, teams are going to figure them out. I think minus 155 is a lot, but it's not the Dolphins. And look, no one takes any joy in this, Kaz, but the New England Patriots at plus 350, newly tooled, Bill Belichick spending all the money Robert Kraft has to offer in the offseason. Mac Jones, who I don't think it was on top of Bill Belichick or anyone's mind at the start of preseason that Mac Jones would be the week 1 starter. He looked incredible in the preseason to the point that I think they had to start him. They had to go with the future guy. And now all of a sudden he's got these weapons, this Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Nelson Aguilar, whatever sort of offense the New England Patriots are running. It's going to be a tighter race than the Patriots at plus 350 and the Buffalo Bills at minus 155. And of course, we've got to say it. If you believe in Zach Wilson, the Jets at plus 2,200. If you believe in Robert Saleh, look, remember the 49ers, right? Robert Saleh's defense comes out of nowhere. The 49ers are the number 1 seed. They make the Super Bowl. Everyone's taking the other 3 West teams to probably finish ahead of the Niners this year. There's value at Robert Saleh at plus 2,200.
Defense wins, people, as well as the golden child. I appreciate you not going all the way homer on me, but I'm always going to show love for my New York Jets. Jeff, always good talking to you. My name is Kazim Famiuide. This has been MSG PM presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Your app is ready, Emperor. Enjoy the rest of the game. See you soon.